In today's video, how to build more muscle in your 40s than you did in your 20s, and how I'll be proving this to you by next summer by building the most impressive superhero movie physique. Hey, this is Anthony, coach and creator of Bodyweight Muscle, a place for those of you who don't vibe with the gym scene anymore, and for those of you who value the quality alone time when they can put the world on pause, clear their head, and build their best strong and lean physique. So if that sounds like something you resonate with or something you need, then make sure you subscribe below and keep on watching. I think that we can all agree that Hugh Jackman's portrayal of Wolverine remains one of the most iconic superhero movie physiques. Just a blend of dense muscle and sharp definition that gave him an almost feral look, making him perfect for this role. Now, if you're an old subscriber, then you already know that I've had a decent attempt at this about a decade ago, proving to myself that this is not impossible. Still, having turned 40, one of my lingering, limiting beliefs now is that back then, time was more in my favor. Both in terms of age, since I was 10 years younger in my prime from a physiological standpoint, but also I had more free time with no family and less working hours. Compared to now, turning 41 in a few months, being a dad of twins with a full-time job as an online coach and sleep that isn't always optimal, to say the least. Still, with all the knowledge that I've accumulated over the last years, both in terms of nutrition and training, I'm pretty confident that I can beat my younger versions as the second time at getting even better results. That being said, I know that a lot of you right now are thinking probably one of the following things. First of all, there's a big chance that Hugh didn't achieve this all naturally, which, still, I don't know, I'm not certain if that is the case, but just because a lot of these transformations, get done in a very short amount of time in Hollywood, it's probably the case that he did have some help from performance-enhancing drugs. That being said, being a natural myself and not willing to change that, I'm still confident that I can achieve this without jumping on gear. Next, there's everything you hear from people my age when it comes to getting in shape. Things such as how you don't recover as fast, how you can't train as hard as you did without getting injured, how your metabolism is slower, and all kinds of other exaggerations, which is why so much of the advice out there for guys my age, your age, is counterproductive, with most people telling you that you have to train less frequently, do less volume, and just get a ton of sleep. Now, of course, getting as much sleep as you can, well, if you can, you lucky bastard, is good for you, and you don't have to train like David Goggins in order to get in great shape. But as much as this advice sounds appealing, you can't get in great shape in your 40s unless you put in some serious work. And the true story is that once you prioritize a few important things, the changes that you're so worried about when getting older are actually a lot more subtle and slower than you think. If you train both smart and hard, as I'll explain later, and you treat your body with respect during the rest of the day around your training, you can basically get an amazing shape and in a lot better looking shape than most 20-year-olds out there in just 2 to 3 years. So once again, this doesn't mean that you have to go to extremes. For example, you don't have to follow the latest trending exclusionary diet, like not having another drink again or never enjoying pizza night with your wife, since these approaches are never sustainable unless you live in a cave. Rather, you just need to stack a few basic behaviors and be 85 to 90% consistent with them. So yes, of course, your metabolism will suck compared to your 20s if you sit all day, but start walking 10,000 steps a day while adding muscle in your frame, and that actually ceases to be a problem. Want to take this even further? Add some sprints to your weekly training on top of that, and you're probably going to struggle to even get enough calories. Yes, you won't recover as fast as you did in your 20s if your protein intake sucks, if you booze incessantly in the weekend, and your stress levels are through the roof, but start working on these things, and soon enough, you'll realize that your recovery is actually not that slower. Sure, you get more often injured if you warm up the same way you did in your 20s, meaning you don't really warm up that much, and if your programming sucks. But the truth is that if you have these two things dialed in, you should train pain-free most of the year. And sure, you have less free time in your 40s compared to your 20s, but you're also older and therefore more mature, I hope, in ways that you can skip doing things such as doom scrolling on your phone, watching movies until late, and you can rather get in bed earlier and prioritize that morning workout. Do all that and a few more things, such as eating 85% clean, focusing on real food that keeps you full and doesn't just amuse your taste buds. Strength train with a more bodybuilding approach where you focus on perfect form, slower reps, and developing a sharp mind-to-muscle connection instead of ego lifting like you did in your 20s. And lastly, instead of program hopping all the time, stick to one solid workout plan and see what happens. Lastly, to expand a little bit more on that last point there, just because it is so important, the reality is that the only thing that you should change in your training from month to month are your sets, reps, and the intensity of the exercises as you get stronger, with the rest of your workout structure staying mostly the same across the rest of the year. Basically, find one training system and treat it as religion. Even if you do this with a very mediocre program, you'll still get better results compared to always program hopping from one amazing, supposedly program to the other. In summary, if you train both hard and smart and respect your body during the rest of the week around your training, 40 is honestly just a number. Not only should you be getting great results right now, but if you care about the long game, this is actually the time to do this, since the better shape you have getting into your 50s and 60s, the better shape you can stay in for the rest of your life. Okay, so let's see if I can follow through with all of my bold claims that I made in today's video. If you're new here and you want to check out how this experiment goes, make sure you subscribe. The deadline for this goal is my 18th birthday, which is on my 18th. I wish, my 41st birthday, which is on the 18th of May, 2026. So in the next 7 months, I'll be covering everything I do from diet and training, but also, lifestyle, how much sleep I get, what supplements I take, and all that. So once again, make sure you subscribe to follow this journey. Lastly, if you're in your 40s as well and you want to build your best superhero physique, but you're not a big fan of the gym, then you can always learn more about my one-on-one online coaching services by filling in the form below. There's a link in the top comment. This way, you can skip the guesswork, get your custom workout plan, custom diet plan, and weekly support and accountability. Again, to learn more about that, just fill in the questionnaire. Let's jump on a quick call, have some coffee, and see if we're a good fit. That was all. Until next time, keep on training.